Adam Hastings' yellow card, that was interesting. Doing Sean Everett.
Great start to the contract.
But he's just like, what else do you expect? He's just doing what Sean Everett does. Like, he's in the league. Like, Glasgow. Hello and welcome back to Double Hit Rugby with myself Harry and my twin brother Rob. This week we're going to be talking about the Glasgow and Edinburgh results and the upcoming games that are coming this weekend. We'll start off with Glasgow. Rob, thoughts?
What you thought they were gonna do better than that? Glasgow looked like they pulled away and Zebre managed to get that.
They're holding on. They were holding on the full game. It looked like a really gritty affair.
Yeah.
And Zebre, and they definitely held on in there for a gritty performance. They obviously wanted to demonstrate what they were worth in their grit, and they did. They hung in there.
They nearly got back at the end. You would have thought though, once with the team that was picked, that they would have done more than enough to have put 30 on Zebre. But they fought hard, 5 points. It was close at the end of the game as well. So,
see what you need to consider. The guys in the back of their mind that have been picked for the Six Nations, that'll be in the back of their mind, and they're not going to. I feel like they're going to hold back 10% every time. They're not going to smash someone as much as what they could because they've been picked now. They're in the squad. They don't want to get injured before. I always find these games quite awkward.
Yeah.
The games between selection and the Six Nations, essentially next week against Munster, you don't want any of them playing.
None of them will play.
Well, they're in camp this week, aren't they?
They're in camp this week, but then none of them will play next week because they wouldn't have put. You look at some of the players that were out there. They've now played three games on the bounce, and then the full of December as well. So they are going to all be rested this weekend. I can see maybe Stafford McDowell playing. I can see Dan Lancaster playing. I can see Ewan Ferry and stuff like that as well playing. But I can't. There's no way that Darge and Ferguson and Adam Hastings any of them are going to be playing this week. Hastings might, to be fair, he's not. Because Gregor, what will happen essentially is Gregor will say, oh, these are the players that are going to be playing in Italy. This is my 23, 25 players that are going to be travelling over. The rest of them released back out for this game. So Stafford will I can see him definitely starting.
Against Munster.
But I think the game at the weekend, really, Gregor Hiddleston, I think he's kind of cemented. He's just added more fuel to the fire of not being picked because he had an absolute barnstormer.
He did. And the first 3 tries all came through, forwards being dominant, and Glasgow just have that physicality over Zebre, and they demonstrated that with the first 3 tries, and Hiddleston was pretty paramount and central to all of them. So
there was about 20 people watching them though.
What? This is one of the points. I honestly think it needs to go to a UK, Great Britain and Ireland league. We need to cut the Italians out, and as bad as that sounds for the Italians and the growth of the game, we need to think about getting the best out of Scottish rugby and going over, and I just don't think that that's the best for. It's not a good look, is it? No. Think of someone who's never seen a rugby match before. You take them to the pub and you go to watch a match with them, and they turn on the TV, and what's the optics like for that?
Terrible.
There's how many people? The stands were empty.
There was a wee bit more in the main stand, but the one that you can see in the camera, it's empty. Aye. But I just think a British and Irish league would be outstanding. Outstanding.
It would immediately become the best league in the world.
Oh, it would be incredible if they could get that into it.
Think how the rivalries that would get created. Even between Glasgow and Saracens, for example. Aye. Imagine that rivalry that could be properly bred and created. I think it would be amazing.
Because when we play, it's hard to get up for the Zebre game because it's a full-gone conclusion where they didn't perform the best, but I think that's what shows a really good team as well, that they don't play at their best but they can still grind out a win. But you think about if they were playing like English teams, that wouldn't be the case. Like it would be a high profile game every single weekend like the Prem is just now.
I think it was a mixture between the holding back for the Six Nations. I think that's what's been going on. Plus, yeah, it was a gritty game. Zebre hung in there, and there was a few factors that just they didn't seem to be firing on full cylinders anyway. Glasgow. Seb Stephen, he is massive, man. He is an absolute physical specimen. I was actually watching him before he flung in a line out, and like he is massive. He's like, if you saw him in the gym, you'd be like, you're a big guy.
I'm really glad he's coming through like that. And we'll get to Harry Morris as well with the Edinburgh game, because the very similar builds actually and their aggression round the park are very, very similar, Seb Stevens and Harry Morris. But I think Seb Stevens has got a very, very bright future, to be honest.
I agree. Few things that stood out for me. Adam Hastings' yellow card, that was... I get why it wasn't a red, because the player was falling, there was a change of level, but it was bad. That was a full-on shoulder to the head. Didn't look like he was trying to rap or anything like that either, and it was like... It kind of, it looked pretty bad.
Would you think it could have been a red?
I think if there wasn't that mitigation around the level change, it's definitely a red card. Just before Adam Hastings got that yellow card, Kyle Rowe actually had a high tackle, but it didn't make head contact, so we got away with it. But that's 2 games in a row that it's like you've been quite high and you're tackling there, so which is interesting. Also, whenever was it in the last 20 minutes of the game, I counted 4 opportunities that we didn't take to score in their, like within their 22, within their 5. 4 opportunities. I don't think Franco will be happy with that.
But I think it's like what we're saying, it's hard for them to get up to that for that game. They're away, the Six Nations, all their eyes are now, their brain is and their eyes are just on the Six Nations.
Agreed.
Injury free, softer shoulders, not wanting to get injured in the lead up to this, because that's not only their paycheck, but it's just the biggest thing. You know, it's Christmas for them, for rugby fans of Six Nations, and the players definitely know that.
Ollie Smith in the wing.
I just don't think he's got that out and out pace. But I think Ollie Smith has got decent skills to be there. I think he's got a good kicking game. He's got a good awareness of what's around him. But I think it goes back to that same thing. We need to get in a high quality winger.
Yeah.
We need a winger. We need a 10. We need a centre.
Aye.
We need it, and not like a 10 that can play centre. Let's get an actual 10. Let's get an actual centre, and let's get an actual winger.
All in all, like, listen, bonus point win away, gritty conditions, gritty match. Zebre held on in there. Six Nations coming up. We've said it's a bonus point win. We'll take it and look ahead to Munster and the Six Nations, really, isn't it?
Definitely.
So yeah.
So I think Munster. I think we'll win. I think they'll put out... The thing with Munster is they don't have many Irish players, so they're going to send probably quite a strong squad.
Yeah.
So I think this is actually going to be a real test for some of the more rotation players and the younger boys to play.
It's going to be a big game for some of the guys that maybe just missed out in selection.
Yeah, I can see Gregor Hiddleston, he's going to be going for it.
Do you think he'll play even though he's in the 18 for it?
I think so.
Aye.
I think so.
Aye,
I think these boys will probably play.
But it'll be a good contest anyway, and you're going to the match, aren't you?
Going to the match.
I'm unfortunately away on holiday as usual, so missing another game.
Well, I'm watching the weather because I'm in the East Stand again, and I'm not under the fucking roof. So is that risky
it's
ticket?
A cheaper ticket though, isn't it?
It was only £22, so you can't really complain. But I'm like looking at the weather report, like shit. I really hope it doesn't rain.
It's been going recently as well.
I know. So I'll be there on Friday night. So Glasgow's up to first in the league now as well. Obviously, Stormers have got a game in hand, but pretty good. They're still continuing on, and even now I'm like, right, Munster game, Matt, I'm now seeing Six Nations. See, because it's only 2 weeks until the Italy game, I'm now thinking Six Nations. So let's see how we go against Munster. First in the league, let's get the W and then come back after the Six Nations and keep the keep the form going.
Edinburgh, 12th in the league.
Edinburgh.
12th in the league.
Edinburgh.
It's a terrible chant, innit?
Just a generic rugby chant, isn't it?
Edinburgh. It doesn't even go well though.
No.
At least Glasgow's like Glasgow.
Too many syllables.
I know.
Edinburgh.
Rugby chants definitely need to improve.
Aye, every team does it. When we were at the Saracens game, it was like you could hear them going Saris, and then everyone's like, no, we're not being louder than us, and then they all start going Glasgow. It's pretty hilarious, man.
Sorry.
The backwards and forward. That fucking accent, man.
But Edinburgh, 12th in the league, they've won 3, lost 6, and out of their last 10 games, they've only won 4.
Including the Champions Cup.
Game.
I mean, Sean Everett's just doing Sean Everett.
Great start to the contract.
But he's just, like, what else do you expect? He's just doing what Sean Everett does. Like, he's not... That's what he does. Like,
that game also almost like summarises what it's like to be an Edinburgh fan right now. Strong first half, gives you a bit of hope, and then a great comeback from the Bulls, and they win the game.
I mean, so the Bulls were fully stacked.
Right.
They were fully stacked, and when you looked at the team, you're like, oh, fair enough. The only one that wasn't there was Caden Moody. And Edinburgh played well in the first half, actually. And then, but again, that second half, head goes down. They just start conceding, and then it's just they can't stop it. That try, joke.
Aye.
Genuinely a fucking joke.
If it's not getting picked up, no one saw the camera angle of the ball going down. So unless it happened as the ball was going over the line, but that would be the referee that would have seen that. The TMO wasn't able to pick that up on the video. Like, we didn't see that. So how are they counting that as a try?
The on-field decision was no try, and then the TMOs said that it was grounded over the line. I'm like, you can't see that. But we have eyes. We have eyes.
Do you?
We have eyes.
It's got eyes.
There's 4 eyes here.
Use your eyes.
There's 4 eyes right here, and we saw that that was not a fucking try.
But the thing is, the ball going down and him saying no try, that means you need like strong evidence to override the on-field decision. And we didn't see that in the game highlights or the camera highlights. So how could they award that a try?
He's a terrible ref.
Cowboy, man.
I actually thought the reffing for the Glasgow and the Edinburgh game was quite poor.
Pretty poor.
URC's reffing is just like way below Prem.
Yeah.
You know, you look at the top refs in the URC, like Andrew Brace is probably like one of the top refs in the URC, and he's still like, you know, that mid-tier
international level,
elite level referees. So we don't have great refereeing in the URC. But that decision, if I was an Edinburgh fan, that's a joke.
Yeah,
that would be pretty.
My kind of look though is you should never, and it's the same with Scotland. You should never rely on that. You should it shouldn't come down to that. Edinburgh shouldn't have. It should never came down to one decision whether they won or lost the game. Ross Thompson didn't kick his goals, which is big, and I'm just going to say it. He's just not at that level as a 10, unfortunately.
There's a reason why he went to Edinburgh, because he wasn't good enough for Glasgow, and he's went there and he's been the exact same as he was for Glasgow, and he's just not a high level 10.
No.
Glasgow and Edinburgh are seriously struggling with 10s right now, and it's because the SRU are obsessed with making sure that 10 spot is filled by eligible Scottish players. But you look at the biggest problem with Edinburgh right now is their midfield, is that 10 distributor. They can't decide if it's Cammy Scott or Ross Thompson, and to be honest, neither of them are at the level that is required to be competing in the top 6 of the URC. And Ross Thompson's kicking, I mean, his attempt on some of the kicks were really bad. I think they're just seriously struggling with that 10, and it wasn't as bad a defeat as they've had in previous weeks, Edinburgh. I thought they were in the game. They had poor decisions put against them. That try was never a try. Ross Thompson's kicking, you know, it's very, very fine margins there that they're losing by. So it's hard line.
And the Bulls will be a hard team to put away. You're going to have to work to put the Bulls away no matter what. And they weren't able to do it. So it's a great start to Everett's new 2 years. That's you just must be like, fuck me.
Why the SRU must just love pissing money out of you?
Oh man,
like 2 years on his contract, like,
and then it's like they're not going to buy him out. No. You know, they're not going to pay him out. So it's like you are stuck with Sean Everett for 2 more years. Let's see what he can do.
Well, I think there might be an opportunity if he gets so much abuse from the fans, he might just walk. We are not encouraging that.
No.
We are not encouraging that. But it only gets easier for them. They're going away. Leinster in Dublin.
The only hope is that Leinster have that many Ireland boys that it's a full-on second string team.
Their full-on second string team is still a good team.
How they've you know, who's playing as centre for them in the second string? Rico Ione. Who's that?
Who's that?
Edinburgh going over there this weekend. Yeah, I'm going to say they'll get beat.
Good luck to them.
Aye, I think that Leinster could win by 20 potentially.
Aye, I think so. I don't think Edinburgh walk away with any points from that. Please prove us wrong.
Yes, that's us for this week. So
back next week. What we're going to do next week, we are going to start doing team predictions for Scotland squads, because next week's one will be, the following game will be Scotland and Italy.
Italia.
In Rome. Italia.
I'm actually in Italy.
You're in Italy for it.
But the wrong region of Italy.
You're nowhere fucking near it.
No.
So we'll start doing reactions to that. We're going to be doing reactions to the team's announcements and making our predictions. But that's what we've got in store for us next week.
So thank you for joining us. Remember to like, subscribe and give us a comment and let us know what your thoughts are. We'll be clipping up some shorts from this to get some interaction. So yeah, thank you for joining us again this week.
Remember to like and subscribe.
See ya.